We're here today to talk about a project to combat Aedes aegypti, a dangerous public health threat, which is the primary vector, that's the primary transmitter of Zika virus. But also Aedes aegypti is famous or infamous, known as the yellow fever mosquito, also carries dengue and chikungunya. So it's a very important public health threat, and we are very happy and excited to announce a project in collaboration between MRCU and Oxitec, which is a biotechnology company out of Oxford in the UK. And we are going to be working together on a project to combat Aedes aegypti.
So Oxitec has developed the friendly Aedes aegypti, which is a tool to control the population of the dengue mosquito and also the carrier of Zika and chikungunya viruses. Our mosquito has been genetically engineered to be unable to reproduce in the field. So a self-limiting gene has been introduced, and that gene produces a protein and overproduces it, which disrupts the mechanism of the cell and which will induce the death of the mosquitoes before they reach adulthood. So what we do is we produce the mosquito in a facility that's dedicated to it. That's where we are now. We're going to have the mosquitoes on this side, and on that side that's where we're going to sort them. So the larvae are reared for about a week in those trays that you can see here, and we feed them, and then when they pupate, we're going to separate the pupae, the male pupae from the female pupae, for the obvious reason that the females are the ones who carry diseases and males cannot bite. They only feed on sugar, like nectar or fruit sources that they find in the wild.
Essentially, the project involves the use of effectively sterile male mosquitoes, which is, it's a new variation on a rather old technique called sterile insect technique, SIT. In the past, sterile male insects have been used for quite a long time in control efforts in other insects than mosquitoes. But those techniques used either exposure to chemicals or exposure to radiation in order to render the male insects sterile. So Oxitec have developed a modern technique to genetically modify the male mosquitoes, and it's only Aedes aegypti we're talking about here, to modify the male Aedes aegypti. And we have found that they are in fact able to compete with the wild males and are able to mate successfully with the wild Aedes aegypti females.
The friendly Aedes aegypti solution is an extremely safe and environmentally friendly solution. It's safe because we only release males which don't bite, can't transmit disease. And also the method they use to kill the offspring is non-toxic. There's no toxin being produced. If you or your dog happen to eat a genetically modified mosquito, it's the same as a normal mosquito. So it's also environmentally friendly. The mosquitoes we release die after a few days, and the offspring of those mosquitoes will also die before they can reproduce. So any time that we stop releasing mosquitoes, the gene and this line disappears from the environment very quickly. Furthermore, it's very species specific. This is a tool that only attacks the Aedes aegypti invasive mosquito. We're not going to have any effect on butterflies or bees or other insects that might be killed by an insecticide. And because Aedes aegypti is an invasive species, it's not part of the food web. So there's no predators that are going to miss it if we reduce its numbers or even eliminate it.
A team of 4 young Caymanians have just been hired for the project. They've shown a great enthusiasm to come in the project. They've been learning a lot in the last few weeks and training very hard. They're really looking forward to make a difference in the fight against Aedes aegypti and help the people of the Cayman Islands.
I am happy to be a part of this project because I've always had an interest in science in school. Also, I'm happy to be a part of a company that's pioneering a new way to help reduce the spread of Zika, chikungunya and dengue diseases around the world.
Hi, I'm Kenroy Millwood from West Bay. I like to go by Ken. I have a degree in Applied Environmental Science, Music, and a Master's in Geoscience Research. I am happy to graduate, come home, and find an opportunity to work in the science field. So when I heard that Oxitec was looking for people, I was excited, and then I learned what they were about, and I think that it's a beneficial cause, and it will help to nip the problem in the bud before it even is a problem. And I'm glad to be a part of that.
We are looking to start releasing the male mosquitoes in June, sometime in June, just in time for the rainy season to start. I perhaps should also mention that keep in mind that male mosquitoes don't bite. In fact, they can't bite. They don't have the requisite mouth parts in order to bite, and therefore they can't transmit disease.